Hello guys, Nato Ace here, and this will be a bonus commentary on episode 230 Sega Go, the 60th anniversary of Sega. So originally, the backstory for this episode, I wanted to do a introduction commentary for this episode, basically introducing each game and the history of Sega. However, after looking all the information, I just realized that, well, I was missing some buttons and there were a lot of misinformed on that video. So that's why if you notice on the actual episode, there was no introduction commentary. Like I said, for this one, I really did want to introduce this to new generation of gamer, people who don't follow Sega that much, and especially from a lot of this game. However, even my fault that even so I knew some of the back history of this free mini games. There were actually more than meets the eye, and I did not mention it on the introduction. There were even some misinformation that I said there. So therefore, for the original version with the introduction commentary, that will be a unlisted video. If you want to see it, links on the description box, and on the description itself on that video, I actually correct myself there. But still, I want to do this bonus commentary as an apology for making those mistakes. So once again, what's Sega 60 all about, or Sega Go? It's a 60th anniversary, and Sega in 1960, that's when first Sega came. And actually, what people don't know, it was actually a American company. They actually make products, computer parts, computer program, mostly for military facility, but once in a while they'll do it to consumer. So to some extent in that one, in the original video, I kind of said, yeah, they used to be a military company. Well, technically, they're more of, they sell stuff for military personnel. So that's actually the truth there. Like I said, I learned that from my, believe it or not, video game history class. Yes, I took video game courses. Wow, shocker, but that's a different story there. So I gotta give credit to my professors there. But yes, Sega used to be a company in the United States that sells programs and parts, mostly for military personnel facility. But once in a while, they'll sell it to consumers, and then after a while, Japan took over, and then it became what most people knew about Sega: Sonic the Hedgehog and Alex the Kid. So now I'm gonna explain more about the mini games that they offer during 2020 for Sega Go. So the first one is Street of Camo Roadshow. Actually, that was just alright on the introduction. Yes, the gameplay is, if you play Street of Rage 2, that's what it is. And the stage itself, the setup and the pathway, it's actually based on the first stage of Street of Rage 2. Like I said, they just made it to Camo Roadshow. You play as Kiryu, Majima, or Ichiban if you at least finish it once. Really fun game. Like a lot of this Sega mini games on Steam were actually free. Yes, it's limited time, but again, where were you? I mean, you could probably do it on your phone or on the computer, whatever, but that's a different story there. So in the case with Street of Camo Roadshow, no problem there. It was actually accurate. So the next one is Armor of Heroes, which is based on a franchise by Relic Entertainment, company of heroes. So on the video I said Creative Assembly, which again I got mixed up because it's sort of a strategy game, but Creative Assembly are the people who did the Total War series. So Relic Entertainment are the one who did Company of Heroes. I made a mistake who the developer is, but when it comes to the game itself, the asset is based on Company of Heroes, and they just made it to this mini game tank battle. Again, like I said, I gave an example such as Combat for the Atari, when you play Wii Play, or Clubhouse 51, the tank battle game. Heck, there are even some like indie downloadable tank game. So exactly that's what it is. It actually has 9 modes, but again, it is sort of a party game. You can play by yourself, but it's probably best play with friends, especially if you stream this game. So then the third game is Endless Zone. So yes, if you play Endless Zone, it is Fantasy Zone, and it's a mature adult type space theme. So that's sort of right there, because the problem there that I made a mistake at, that's all I just said. There was actually more to it, and that is it's based on the Endless series. So exclusive to Steam, developed by Amplitude, Dungeon of the Endless, Endless Dungeon, Endless Space 2, and Endless Legend. Yes, 2 of the Endless game. Basically, you can play it on Steam. So there is a franchise about that, the Endless franchise. So again, I made a mistake there. Didn't really mention that one, because to some extent, for some, you might think, oh, you're just saying, oh, it's a mature space adult theme, which that didn't really make sense. But the bottom line is, it was a realistic sci-fi theme fantasy zone, but not knowing that the word Endless is actually a franchise from Sega, but you play it only on Steam. I don't think this one has a console release, so kind of missed about their misinformation, so I want to correct it on here. And then the last one, again, I try to look more information about this. There's a lot of mixture about Golden Accent. So what I said on the video was that they pitched this to Sega of Japan, and they said no. It could be true. However, I heard people said that, but some also more than meets the eye. So apparently there was some site that I read that it was developed as a reboot to the Golden Axe series, so it makes sense. Because like I said, believe it or not, there's a PS2 game called Sega Classic Collection, which are basically a collection of Sega Ages game, which is modernize the classic game, and one of them was Golden Axe. So I mean, I like that game, I like that collection. And just side story, whoever reviewed that on X plays the dumbass, just saying there, whatever, but that's a different story there. Yeah, I mean, some of the Sega Ages game, too bad not all of them. That would be nice, but I get at one point Sega just didn't have confidence, whatever. But the bottom line is, going back to Golden Axe, it was developed at Sega of Australia. However, by 2013, unfortunately, the company shut down, and they just couldn't finish a lot of the games they were supposed to do, and they just canceled them. Because apparently there was also a report that this division was also going to do a reboot of Vector Man and Alter Beast, but also they got canceled. I sort of remember the story behind it. I knew someone on the gaming community told me the story, and they said, yeah, it was so bad that canceling them was a blessing in disguise. So again, I don't know the whole story about it, but apparently this is sort of the company, Sega of Australia, so they got shut down. And then there's an article also that, yeah, there was actually more than me, and apparently the creators actually had some frustration and struggle with the game. That's the reason why they never finished it. I mean, when I played the game itself, it was actually good for what it is, but again, like I said, I didn't know how to use the magic unless you really can't do it. It was just there. Again, I don't know. Remember, this is a prototype. It was supposed to be a reboot to the Golden Axe series, a 2.5D style. But again, the reboot basically failed, and the company, their division in Australia, just shut down. And yeah, but apparently there was a lot of struggle with this company, so it is unfortunate. So again, in the case of, was it pitched to Sega of Japan? It could be, but I really couldn't find concrete proof on the internet. I just heard people saying that. So again, yeah, there you go. So that's basically my bonus commentary and sort of a correction to episode 230, Sega Go, celebrating its 60th anniversary of Sega as a whole. So next time, if I'm going to do this introduction commentary, I got to do more research. Like I said, I kind of knew behind what it is, but unfortunately, there was more than me CI that I should have looked it up. That was on my fault. So apology for that one. So hopefully the next one, if I ever do a commentary introduction, I'll be more accurate because here's a teaser. If you did watch this to the end, thank you. Episode 231 will be Marvel versus Capcom for the Dreamcast, but no introduction needed there. However, the next one, Marvel versus Capcom 2, episode 232. Yeah, there will be an introduction commentary for that one because I'm also going to give a quick thoughts of Maximilian Dood's campaign, hashtag free MVC2 or free Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So stay tuned for that.